welcome back to Demigod Debut. I'm Mal, big Blackjack fan, the horse, not the game, and longtime Percy Jackson fan.
And I'm Julie, your favorite, and I do mean favorite, Percy Jackson amateur.
And this is a podcast where Julie reads The Titan's Curse for the first time, and we have our weekly book club. It's just the two of us this week for the first time in a while. This is our date night. We're like parents finally getting rid of the kids and getting to have some alone time.
I love it. Gotta keep the spark alive.
That feels right after accidentally starting dating rumors about us when you were in town on my Instagram story.
Are you really friends if you don't have dating rumors?
Right. Sometimes you post a picture of dinner and you're like, date night, thinking that people are gonna assume the heteronormative option and be like, friend date. But then all of a sudden, every queer woman from your past is sliding into your DMs like, oh my god, when did this happen? I'm like, oh, it didn't, but it's fine. So, we did chapters 6 through 8, yes?
Yes. I'm glad we're checking that now.
I know. We don't talk to each other, it feels like.
No. Only during this 1 hour a week.
Right. And we talk about baseball and stuff outside of, and sometimes inside of, this 1 hour a week.
Yeah.
Alright, so chapter 6 was, an old dead friend comes to visit. So, the last thing at the end of chapter 5 was Percy's Annabeth dream. And then we find out at the start of chapter 6 that Zoe also had a dream as well about Artemis being in trouble and possibly kidnapped. And Grover knows this because he was sleeping outside of the Artemis cabin just to be near the hunters. This is a red flag from Grover. Please leave them alone.
Ew, yeah, I didn't like it. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it is a little creepy. It's also a red flag from Percy. The way that he turns around and minimizes Persephone, because he's like, how can a goddess be kidnapped? And Grover's like, well, it happened to Persephone. Percy's like, well, she's the goddess of, like, flowers. Excuse you, sir. You have not seen the iconic piece of media that is Hadestown. Persephone is a girl boss.
Yeah, like, we do not accept Persephone's slander in this household. Absolutely not. She is incredible. Like, no notes. I love her.
She's the moment. She's a queen.
She is the icon.
I'm still not over the way that she was, like, into Grover in the Lightning Thief movie, though. That was wild.
I hated that. Hated that.
What a choice to make.
No. They made a lot of choices in that movie. Let's be real.
They sure did. Oh, we also get the fun detail that Chiron wears curlers in his tail. It does make me wonder, does Chiron sleep standing up? Like, is that a thing horses do? Or is that cows?
I think it's cows. I feel like I've seen them laying down before.
Google, do horses... Okay, horses can sleep standing up, but they don't actually reach full REM sleep when they're standing. So they can take, like, little naps standing up, I guess.
Okay. Can I just say something real quick? This is totally unrelated.
Yes.
So I saw this tweet and it was like, I always feel like Narcissus in Zoom because I'm constantly staring at my little box. And I was like, that's me. Like I'm never looking at the other person. All throughout grad school, Zoom school, whatever, I'm always staring at myself in the mirror. I'm like, how do I look like to other people? So if you ever see me like messing with my hair, I'm just looking at myself while we're talking. I'm a little Narcissus.
That's related. That's related.
Speaking, since I'm a daughter of Aphrodite, we're pretending. So yeah, that's me.
Right, exactly.
On brand.
Okay, so we also get a rundown on how Luke is trying to reform Kronos in his silly little golden coffin, and it happens piece by piece every time someone joins their cause. Good stuff. And then we get the absolute bombshell that Grover found a Hunters of Artemis brochure in Annabeth's backpack, and he thinks she may have been thinking about joining. And Percy's reaction here is so good. Quote, I'd like to say I took the news well. The truth is, I wanted to strangle the Hunters of Artemis, one eternal maiden at a time. So down bad. So down bad that he immediately wants to choose violence. Like, Annabeth cannot join the Hunters if there are no Hunters to join.
Down bad at the gym.
Down bad crying at the gym. Exactly, exactly.
Can I just say something before we move on real quick? I really don't think that she would have joined the Hunters of Artemis. Because it feels too rash of a decision to me. It's like it felt wrong to me, and I was like trying to figure out like why does it feel like Annabeth wouldn't do this? And it like feels to me the same way, like, you know how like you go through something and you're like, now I need to cut my hair or I need to dye my hair. Something happens to you and you're like, okay, dramatic response. I need to do this. I need to change something. That's what this feels like to me. Annabeth wouldn't go out of her way, like, this is something I've always wanted to do, and now I'm going to swear off boys forever because, first of all, she's a little boy crazy. At least she wasn't like the first book about Luke. And I really don't see her like devoting herself to another goddess, I guess. I don't know.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Annabeth is not really a girl's girl, so I don't necessarily see her joining a kind of
Mhm.
feminist cult of sorts. But it is fun that she keeps getting these invitations to join these like fun little girl groups. Like she got invited to stay on Cersei's island to learn magic, and now she's gotten invited to join the Hunters. Like we love to see it. And I do think she needs some more girlfriends, like friends that are girls, not well, actually, or girls to date. I'm down. I'm down for either.
It is Pride Month.
Just some more girls in Annabeth's life. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like she maybe had the brochure and was thinking about it because she's like frustrated with her dad and frustrated with Luke. But ultimately, like you're right, it doesn't feel like the correct thing for her. And I think if Percy waited for like 30 seconds and actually thought about it, he'd recognize that too. But
He's a teenage boy. He has no critical thinking skills yet.
right, exactly. So Percy is kind of losing his mind about this. And so he ends up deciding to go and consult the Oracle, which ultimately results in nothing. The Oracle does not speak to him, but he does find the scarf that he and Annabeth found at that water park from the first book. And Percy wonders why Annabeth kept the scarf and why she put it in the attic. I mean, did you have any thoughts about why she put it in the attic? Because I kind of did, but
I don't remember. Did they go over the scarf story? Like, is that something I should have remembered? Because I did not remember the scarf.
no, not really. It's really a quick like when because they go to the water park to find Ares' shield, and I think in the boat there's the shield and the scarf, and Percy like picks up the scarf, and Annabeth's like, "Oh no, no love magic for you," and takes it and like shoves it in her pocket, and that's it.
Okay.
But she kept it and she put it in the attic. And see, I don't think that her putting it in the attic had like anything to do with Percy at all. I think it more had to do with her because like I mean she grew up at camp, so she probably watched camper after camper like come back from a quest with like some kind of spoil like souvenir trophy thing that they got to put in the attic like as kind of their token for like a completed quest. And
Mhm.
so I feel like that's probably more along the lines of why she put it in the attic. She was like, here's this thing that Percy and I found. And then right now it's just kind of there to serve as a reminder of like, here's this history that Percy and Annabeth have, which is fun. Love that.
I do love it. I like to think that, no, I don't necessarily believe this, but like her stealing the scarf out of his hands, like, no, no, like you're not like getting duped into loving somebody else. Thank you.
I mean, at that point, she did kind of hate him.
True. So I'm like rewriting history a little bit, as is my prerogative.
Wow, just because they're a boy and a girl, they have to like each other. It's a little heteronormative of you.
Yes, I am an LGBT so I will be doing anti-pride things this month.
Crazy that the Tunnel of Love was only a year and a half ago from like where we currently are
Oh my
time wise. Like
gosh.
the Lightning Thief was a year and a half ago.
I forget about literally everything I've ever read, but
I know.
yeah, you know.
That's why I'm here to remind you.
Oh my God. I was going through like my planner because I was like, I haven't used it in a while. And I found in January, I had written in podcast day on like that Saturday we started. And I was like, crazy. 6 months ago, we started the podcast.
Aw, crazy.
I know. We're 3 books in.
What a thing that we're doing.
Who would have thought we'd be here? Insert the Paul Rudd meme. Who would have thought we'd be that many?
Because it was touch and go for a while whether you were gonna read book two.
It was. The first one, like, I had fun recording it. The actual reading, like, I don't really care about. But I like the recording of the episode. I like talking about it.
That's why people join book clubs.
I want to join a book club. Anyway.
All right, it's time for Campers versus Hunters Capture the Flag. And as for campers, we've got Beckendorf, some Ares kids who aren't important enough to be mentioned because they aren't Clarice, and side note, would love to see Clarice here to take on the Hunters. Pour one out for my girl Clarice. We've got the Stoll brothers and Nico from the Hermes cabin, and we also have the Aphrodite cabin. And I hate the way that the Aphrodite cabin is portrayed. I hate that Percy says that usually the Aphrodite kids just kind of sit on the sidelines and like chat and look at their reflections. Like just because Aphrodite is the goddess of love doesn't mean her kids have to be a stereotype. But then also, I was wondering, what do you think you would be doing during Capture the Flag?
I would not be playing. Absolutely not. I would be chatting. Like, I'm not, no, like in gym class, all throughout high school, I would be like, do I have to do this? I'd rather like just go for a walk. Please do not make me play team sports. I would rather die.
You would have on one of your cute little like skirt sets. You would have your Celsius in hand, and you'd be like, "I'm ready for Capture the Flag. I'm ready to just take a hot girl walk through the woods."
Yeah, I'd be like, don't assign me any jobs. I'm just gonna go walk. Got my little tennis skirt on. I'm ready.
I love that. Then co-captains Thalia and Percy, of course, immediately disagree on the best course of action. She says he should be on defense and she should be on offense. Percy wants the opposite, but ends up agreeing just to what Thalia wants, which I can't help but feel like is a side effect of being friends with Annabeth. Like he's used to just having a powerful woman tell him what to do.
True. Yeah.
And then Percy kind of gives Nico the rundown on Capture the Flag, including reminding him that they're playing with real weapons that can actually hurt people. And I have to say I love the parallels that can be made here between Percy's first Capture the Flag and Nico's. And so like I went back to the Lightning Thief so you don't have to.
Beautiful.
So you kind of have Percy here being a mentor to Nico, kind of the way that Luke was for him, kind of answering his questions, getting him ready to play, which is
Mm.
fun. And I also think it's fun that Nico's like, "Oh, am I going to get a magic item?" Because Percy, the first thing he asks Annabeth when they like start playing, he's like, "Do you have any magic items that you can give me?" And so I'm like, that's a fun little similarity that they have. Like they're both looking for a magic item. I don't know. I just think it's fun. Okay, speaking of magic items, Percy literally has Annabeth's invisibility hat right now, and he doesn't use it in the Capture the Flag game.
Yeah. Because it's still in his cabin.
Yeah, that is such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, because they're allowed to use magic items.
I'm like, you have the hat. You have the hat.
Maybe he's a Mets fan.
Ugh. Honestly, though, the hat really would have helped him as he immediately abandons his post to try to go after the hunter's flag. And, I mean, he does manage to get the flag, but then, he gets beat kind of in a foot race by Zoe, who also has the camper's flag, so she managed to get across the boundary first. So the campers do not, in fact, win. And of course, Thalia is very mad. And she says she was at their base, but the flag was gone, and if Percy hadn't butted in, they would have won, which is just like what she said after the Thorn battle. She was like, if you hadn't butted in, Annabeth wouldn't be gone. Like, she's always blaming Percy. And this time I don't know how true it is, because the issue is that like Zoe gets there faster. Like she beat him across the boundary. They both had the flags. So Thalia saying that she would have won when she arrived at their base like to get the flag after Percy did doesn't feel like she would have also been behind Zoe.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, we can like say hypothetically all we want. Like maybe if Percy had been there to defend the flag, like he would have been able to hold off Zoe for longer or something. I don't know. I don't know how successful Percy would have been defending against her either. Like she's been fighting for however long with the hunters, and so like I think that the hunters would have won either way because I support women, but
And they've also won every single time.
right, exactly. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't really feel like a fair fight either. Because you have these girls who travel together and fight together all the time and like are basically always together versus these campers that it's kind of hit or miss like who's there at what times and not everybody gets along.
There's no real chemistry.
Yeah, so it doesn't really feel like a fair fight because you've got one like well-oiled machine team and then you've got like Camp Half-Blood, which is
Ragtag.
yeah, Ragtag, our Ragtag heroes. Then we come to one of my absolute favorite Percy Thalia moments where she accidentally shocks him. So he gets a big old wave and like drenches her, and then she calls him Seaweed Brain, and so he has a hey, only Annabeth can call me that moment.
Yeah.
He then turns around and calls her Pinecone Face, which not his best work.
No, I didn't like it.
And then like Thalia hits him with lightning, so then he picks up the entire river to like dump on her. I mean, Annabeth did say last book they would either be best friends or try to kill each other, so they're really trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
It is interesting to me though that like at least in his retelling of the story, he at least recognizes that the first shock that like Thalia gives him was an accident. Like she didn't mean to do it,
Hmm.
but he got mad and like escalated.
Yeah.
So whose fault was this really? Probably Percy's.
Probably I did enjoy it though. I liked the little, I don't know. I thought it was kind of, I was like, I want them to come to blows a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of a matter of time, it seemed like.
We need them to duke it out.
Yeah.
It's also fun because we haven't gotten a big like power display like this from Percy. Like he picked up the entire freaking river.
Well, at least we knew Percy's power. Like we knew like he could manipulate water, but I like learning more about Thalia too.
The lightning. It's cool power.
It is cool.
Thalia and Percy unfortunately do not get to kill each other because
Because of woke. They're not allowed to kill each other because of woke.
No, because the Oracle comes to visit. And when you were like, who do we know that's dead? I was like, yeah, it is kind of a stretch. But the Oracle is in fact dead.
Him and the Oracle are not friends.
Right. They're not friends.
I'm sorry. They're not friends. He's terrified of the thing. So this was a red herring chapter title.
It was.
I'm suing Rick right now.
So the Oracle takes a little walk through the woods, which creepy as hell.
I didn't know it could move.
But she's not here for Percy. She's here for Zoe and gives us this prophecy. Let me get my dramatic prophecy voice out. 5 shall go west to the goddess in chains. 1 shall be lost in the land without rain. The bane of Olympus shows the trail. Campers and hunters combined prevail. The Titan's curse must 1 withstand, and 1 shall perish by parent's hand. And then the Oracle just parks herself on a rock, as if she didn't just prophesize that somebody's parent is going to kill them. A queen. What are you doing?
I was adjusting. I was like, I need to be center in my camera so I can stare at myself. What do you want from me, Mal?
You can see yourself. One thing about this prophecy that's going to mean nothing to you, there's another prophecy, not even in this book series, there's another prophecy that rhymes pale and jail, and I always get these two mixed up. Like, I want to put those 2 lines from that other prophecy in here. So I always want to be like, the giant's bane stands golden pale. Oh, just kidding, that's not this prophecy. Probably because they both use Bane as well, like Bane of Olympus, Giant's Bane. Yeah. So I'm always like,
yeah, it's an uncommon word.
Yeah. I don't know if you made any prophecy predictions, but we can get to those later with your predictions.
I did. Yeah, we'll do it later.
Perfect. Wonderful. All right. Chapter 7. Everybody hates me but the horse. So Percy and Grover get elected to carry the Oracle back to the attic, which he says he doesn't think is because they're the most popular. And it's just kind of fun how Percy's popularity at camp seems to kind of ebb and flow. Like, he starts every book kind of unpopular, then he saves the day, and then everyone likes him again, only for him to like do something in the beginning to screw up again, and all the people are annoyed at him. It's fun. They carry the Oracle back to the attic. Grover tells Percy how he hopes one of the things stirring is Pan, and he wishes he could be out there searching. And so now we have 3 lost characters to find: Annabeth, Artemis, Pan. And then Thalia, my petty queen, comes and she refuses to talk to Percy, so she's talking to him through Grover, and tells him that he's needed at a council of cabin leaders to discuss the prophecy. But also, I'm like, she got 2 good hits on Percy during their fight, and he only got 1, so really, she already won, so she doesn't need to be acting childish like this.
Yeah, like, girl, you're already on top. When they go low, we go high. Come on. Just like Mrs. Obama said.
And then I love how unproductive this meeting is. Like, just pure unhinged chaos.
Also, Mr. D can produce any like food he wants, and he picks like the cheese whiz, like the spray cheese is what I'm thinking of, right?
Yes.
That's the meeting food come on, you couldn't get real cheese.
No, sprayable cheese only. The gods have a very strict budget, and Mr. D is spending it on the wine that he conjures up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The people attending the meeting is also kind of chaotic to me. Like, the fact that there's no Ares campers there because they all accidentally got broken limbs during Touch the Flag. Insane. And then you've got both Stoll brothers as representatives from Hermes because, like, you can't just send one. And I also have some questions about cabins that are not represented because, like, you don't have anyone from Athena, Demeter, or Apollo. Like, all of those cabins have campers. And, like, I know Athena would usually be Annabeth, but you can't tell me that there's not any other... like, Annabeth has siblings.
Yeah.
This is Athena, Demeter, Apollo erasure, and I will not stand for it. But then again, I guess we haven't really been introduced to any named characters from those cabins, so I guess it does make sense as a choice to not just kind of dump a bunch of new people on us here when you've already dumped the hunters on us as new people. Like, we've got a lot of other new people, like...
There's only so much like a kid's brain can absorb.
Yeah. So I feel like we just kind of got the characters that were already mentioned to us in Sea of Monsters just kind of make their reappearance.
Yeah. Although I do love, I don't know if she's in this meeting, but another named character they gave us was Selena Beauregard.
Yes, an icon and a legend.
What a name. Incredible name. That is like Southern debutante. I
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
Anyway, I just had to mention.
She's incredible.
Are we gonna learn more about her? Because I want more.
Yeah, there's more about her.
Okay, good.
She's fun. Yeah. Zoe immediately is like, I'm gonna take 5 hunters and I'm gonna go find Artemis. Thalia's like, you're wrong, as usual, and says she needs to take some campers, because the prophecy says campers and hunters combined. And Mr. D keeps pointing out that people are probably gonna die on this quest. And we also have yet another solstice deadline, because we need Artemis to be able to attend the Council of the Gods on the winter solstice, so some actual decisions can be made. Like, I know that Artemis and Athena are the only ones getting anything done at these meetings. We need Artemis. And they also they just have no idea what the monster is that's the bane of Olympus, or what the Titan's curse might be. But Chiron and Zoe kind of share a look like they know. And Percy also kind of wonders if a Dodd would turn on their half-blood child. And I love that he thinks, maybe I should have gotten my dad a gift for Father's Day.
Yeah, I love it.
So we end up deciding to go with a 3-2, 3 hunters, 3 campers. And the 3 hunters Zoe chooses are herself, Bianca, and Phoebe, who is their best tracker. But put a pin in that one, because the Stoles offer Phoebe a t-shirt, which Percy knows means that they are up to something. And then the campers end up being Grover and Thalia, which means no Percy. And when he pushes, Zoe says the hunters refuse to travel with a boy, but they'll still travel with Grover because he doesn't count as a boy because he's a satyr. So then naturally Percy skips dinner to pout in his cabin.
Relatable.
So Grover and Chiron come find him. Grover promises he's going to do everything he can to find Annabeth. Chiron tells Percy that Thalia would not have been his first choice to go on this quest because she acts without thinking and is too sure of herself. And he also says he wouldn't have chosen Percy because Percy and Thalia are very alike, except that Percy is not as sure of himself as Thalia. Chiron also kind of ominously tells Percy it's no wonder Zoe didn't want him along when he's carrying that particular weapon, aka his sword Riptide. Drama.
Yes.
And then Percy finally calls his mom and interrupts what appears to be a date. At least according to what I was told in middle school. So, fun fact, when I was in middle school, an adult at church told me the dictionary definition of a date is when a male and a female are alone together, as like a don't hang out with boys one-on-one because then that's like technically a date, which is not even true. At the time, I just like took that as fact, and then when I got older, I like looked it up. The dictionary definition of a date is not, like, it says nothing about like male and female, and like maybe they changed that since I was in middle school, but now I'm like, hey, wait a minute. They're out here lying to kids.
Oh my God. I love that. I love that you went and looked it up later.
Yeah, so I was like, is that true? Is that true? It's not. Fun fact.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah. The definition just talks about like it being a set social engagement between two people or something. Like no genders specified.
This could be a date.
This is a date. This is date night. Come on.
We established this, yes.
Anyway, so Sally is sitting at the kitchen table with some guy who Percy says looks like he could play an undercover cop on TV, which is code for this man is hot.
So true.
And Percy gets his mom's attention when the guy walks off to go to the bathroom, and she says the man is Paul Blowfish and he's in her writing seminar. And Percy, because he is his father's son, of course, goes, Mr. Blowfish? And she asks what's wrong because she knows her son, and Percy says, quote, I told her about Annabeth, the other stuff too, but mostly it boiled down to Annabeth. And I just know that Sally has been hearing nonstop about Annabeth from this boy for the last year and a half. Then he says he'll be coming home, but Sally, who is the coolest mom in the world, tells him he needs to do what he thinks he has to, and if he thinks he needs to go on this quest, then he should, because she knows that he'll do what's best for Annabeth, because she'd do the same for him. And really just love that Sally is on Team Persebeth here.
Love it. Yeah, she's their #1 shipper, I think.
She's like, quest for true love, you gotta go, Percy.
Aw, that's kind of sweet.
Sure is. Percy's like, I could give a crap about returning Artemis, like, for the winter solstice. He's all about Annabeth.
Yeah.
As he should be.
Oh my gosh, real lovers are back. He's a yearner.
Exactly. He's a yearner, but at this point, he will not admit to himself. But he's yearning so hard that he can't even recognize that he's yearning. It's crazy. It's a new level of yearning.
Love it.
He also has another Annabeth dream. It's really fun that he keeps dreaming about her.
It is. I like it.
And so in this dream, she's exhausted. She's struggling under the weight of something heavy. A voice asks how she is, and Luke says she's fading, so they need to hurry. So they bring out Artemis and tell her that she can save Annabeth. So Artemis has them free her hands from the chains, and she takes, like, whatever the heavy thing is from Annabeth. The voice says Artemis is predictable, and he knew that she wouldn't be able to resist helping a young maiden. And then the voice says that they should kill Annabeth, but Luke stops him and is like, no, she can be used as further bait. So at least he's not totally heartless, but this is like bare minimum from Luke. Like, he does not get any points from me for being like, no, maybe don't kill my oldest friend. We can use her as bait.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I can't forgive him as,
I don't trust him.
yeah, I can't forgive him for using Annabeth as a pawn in this like scheme to trap Artemis. Like, that is your best friend. That is your best friend, Luke.
Fake friend. Fake friend alert.
Then there's some banging on Percy's door, which turns out to be from a black Pegasus, aka Blackjack. And the only correct answer when you are reading Blackjack is to read him with a thick New York accent, like a whatever you say, boss, you're the man, you're my number one. Like, that's the only correct option.
Beautiful, Mal. Loved it.
My New York accent is not very good.
Or New Jersey. Why not? It could be like a New Jersey, like Sopranos vibe.
Yeah, a Sopranos vibe is kind of.
It's like like he sounds like a mafia.
Yeah, he needs to talk like he's a member of the mafia.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Percy explains that his son of Poseidon powers allow him to talk to equestrian animals, and sometimes they kind of adopt him. And now there's a lot of lore surrounding Blackjack. So he was a captive on Luke's ship who was able to escape when the party ponies invaded. Like, they caused a distraction and he got to escape. Fun, great, wonderful. Now, the thing you probably don't recall from the coverage of Blackjack in the Sea of Monsters is that in that book, the Pegasus on the ship is described as being a female horse.
Oh.
But Blackjack is a male horse.
OMG, Blackjack trans. Happy Pride.
I know. It's really wonderful that Rick Riordan included the first ever trans Pegasus in his novel in 2007. Like, we were really groundbreaking with that one.
Love it.
I mean, it's really just that he forgot that the Pegasus was a girl and then made this cool character, but
we're reading into it.
Now we just have this accidentally transgender horse, and I love that. Happy Pride Month. Truly wonderful that Blackjack got to get off the ship and, like, discover who he truly is. We love that for him. Anyway, he's here because the Hippocampi have sent him to find Percy and get him to help, which often happens when sea creatures are in trouble, apparently. And Percy, on his way out, grabs Annabeth's hat because he just has a feeling that he's not going to be back. Great. Anything else for Chapter 7?
Just that I'm very interested in this tragic backstory of Riptide.
Oh, yes.
I'm very yeah. I don't have any predictions. I haven't ruminated on it a lot, to be honest. So maybe I'll ponder that this week. That and like what like Titan's Curse actually is. Because it's freaking Chiron out, that's not good. So another thing I want to make a prediction about, but I haven't delved into it.
You're like, there's something here. I don't know what, but there's something.
Yeah. I'm like, my antenna is up.
All right, so Chapter 8. I make a dangerous promise. Percy goes underwater, and we get to see more of his little powers. So he can use the currents to move around. He can also see underwater, which is cool. And he reaches the problem, which is some animal trapped in a fishing net. And it's this little serpent cow baby. And all it can do is moo, and Percy says he can't understand its thoughts because he only speaks horse. And this kind of led me down a rabbit hole, because I really thought that Percy could talk to any aquatic animal, but I dug around and I looked at, like, all the moments I could think of, and Percy never, like, has a conversation with any fish or anything. Like, it's pretty much only horses, which is crazy. He should be able to talk to fish.
He didn't talk to fish in the first one? It's like that weird, like, I don't know what it was, but he was questioning them about his dad or something, but I don't think it was an actual real animal.
Oh yeah, when he was talking to the Nereid.
Yeah. That's
yeah. Well, and he kind of does talk to the fish, like when he's underwater with Annabeth after the sirens, because like he tells the fish to scram. But he doesn't have a conversation with the fish. Like, he can't understand their thoughts and, like, communicate with them, really.
Yeah.
Which is just interesting, because this whole time I've been like, Percy Jackson can talk to fish. But no, his powers are only horses.
It's very weird being the son of Poseidon, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a very weird line to draw. Like, he can talk to horses because it's convenient for the plot, but fish, no, that's too far. Too powerful. It reminds me, there was a tweet a long time ago when Rick Riordan was more active on Twitter. Rick Riordan's Twitter was a fever dream. Um, there's a couple tweets that like live rent free in my head. But one of them, somebody was like, "Oh, cucumbers are like 80% water. Does that mean Percy can control cucumbers?" And Rick Riordan responded and was like, "No. No mortal should have the godlike powers of cucumber control." And I think about that all the time. Cucumbers are delicious.
They're so much better than pickles.
That's fighting words. Fighting words.
I have already had this argument with someone, and I'm correct. Sorry. Like,
No.
cucumbers are way better.
Pickles are
No,
superior.
they're disgusting.
The date is over. I'm storming to my car.
Yeah, I used to like pickles as a kid. Now I cannot stand them. I'm like, I take them off of burgers. I'm like, I do not want anything pickled.
You had a glow down when it comes to food taste.
The same thing with mushrooms. I used to like mushrooms and I don't really like them anymore.
Oh, see, I had a mushroom glow up. I didn't like mushrooms. Now I like mushrooms.
I maybe it's just like on I used to like them on pizza. I can sometimes stomach them, like if they're a different kind of mushroom. But like your typical like pizza mushroom, I don't like. It's the texture thing. They're a weird texture.
Yeah, they do have kind of a weird texture.
And if I ever see them in like outside, I'm like, ugh, ugh, ugh.
What were you saying? Oh, so the cow serpent is scared of Percy's sword, so he can't use that to cut the net. And I love how he calms down the little cow serpent creature by going, calm thoughts, seagrass, mama cows, vegetarianism. Just makes me smile. That brings me to a question. What do you think three things someone could list to calm you down?
Oh, that's a good question.
I feel like for me, it'd be like summer vacation, those days where you get to go to sleep and not set an alarm, and then maybe like yoga. It's not something I do a lot, but every single time I just feel very relaxed. So,
Um, like a walk, nice walk, maybe a cup of tea, and um,
Sabrina Carpenter.
she would pump me up though, is the thing. Like I would not like relax.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah. Maybe like I don't really get summer vacation, but I do like the idea of like summer vacation when you're still like a kid or in college and like you have absolutely no responsibilities. Like you don't have to worry about anything.
Mm.
That like a
Or like a long weekend.
like yeah, you wake up and you're like, I have absolutely nothing to do today and it's gonna be a great day. Like that kind of vibe
I love that.
I really want right now.
That's an excellent vibe.
Yeah.
I feel calmer just thinking about a day where I have to do nothing.
Like not that you necessarily like do nothing during the day, but like you have nothing necessarily like planned.
And you just get to do what you want. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Percy has to untangle the net by hand, which honestly I would love because nothing brings me more joy than just like picking at something and untangling it. It's like my thing. Like people will bring me necklaces that are untangled at work because I'm like I love to untangle things. I will untangle headphones, I will untangle like your bracelet. I will like let me untangle stuff. It's just fun to me. And Percy also starts calling the animal Bessie because he says it feels like a good cow name. And eventually he gets her free.
I love how you like picks Bessie. Like that's the most common cow name. Like you're not special. Like everybody knows a cow named Bessie. Well, not like no, no. Yeah.
It's like, this is a cow, Bessie. Personally, I would go with a nice like milky white, like from Into the Woods. If I was going for a generic cow name,
Milky White? That's not a cow name.
that's the cow in Into the Woods.
I don't know what that is. Is that a musical?
Yes, Sondheim. Are you crazy?
I don't know music. I thought we've established this. You are the
Yeah.
musical girl in this relationship.
We have established that. Yeah, Into the Woods is great. I'm trying to think of a. I mean, you could name a cow something like utterly ridiculous. That's the best cow pun I can come up with.
I'm gonna leave right now.
Do it.
Okay.
So then Blackjack comes and takes Percy back to his cabin, and on his way, Percy sees Nico hiding behind a column in the dining pavilion. And it turns out Nico is spying on Zoe and Bianca, who are having a conversation about how the shirt from the Stoll brothers was sprayed with centaur blood, and now Phoebe can't go on the quest because she's going to be bedridden for weeks with horrible hives.
Oh,
And, like, centaur blood is what, like, kills Hercules. Hercules killed this centaur with these arrows that had hydra venom on them, and then like as the centaur was dying, he like told Hercules' wife that like, oh, my blood can be used as like a love potion, so Hercules will always be faithful to you or whatever. And so she like takes the blood and puts it on this shirt, and then the like poison that's mixed in with the blood like starts to burn Hercules, and it's like the pain is so bad that he like creates his own funeral pyre and like burns himself to death. Like it's wild. But like knowing that myth, I'm like, this was a wild thing for the Stoll brothers to just do to someone.
As like a prank, you know?
Yes, like this was insane.
That's attempted
This
murder.
is insane behavior.
Yeah.
This is
Oh my
crazy.
God.
But also, it just proves that women are stronger than men because Phoebe's just gonna like suffer and get better. She's not lighting her own funeral pyre.
No, she's gonna be fine.
Yeah, fun little myth connection there. Zoe also insists that they don't need a fifth quest companion because she feels like that person would meet an end worse than Phoebe's. And then they leave. So then Nico is about to go after them, but Percy stops him and says he can't go, like, he can't follow them. He can't go on this quest. And Nico says, well, maybe I can't, but you can. And you can keep an eye on my sister. And he says he knows Percy's planning on going anyway, and so he won't tell on him if he promises that he will keep Bianca safe. And so Percy promises to do his best, and Nico says he'll make up something to tell Chiron. And then Percy puts on the hat, realizes he has absolutely zero plan, and, like, no supplies, nothing packed, but luckily Blackjack shows up and offers to be his getaway horse. All I can think about is Taylor Swift's Getaway Car, but as Getaway Horse, so we were driving a getaway horse. We were flying.
You got that as your surprise song at the Eras tour. I can't believe your luck. Some people are God's favorite.
Yeah. If God hates the gays, why do I keep winning? The only thing that would have made it better is if she sang Getaway Horse. And it was all about this moment in which Blackjack rides in to save the day. Yeah, so anything else on chapter 8?
I made a joke about the Titanic submarine guys really could have used someone like Percy. Because he's like,
They sure could have.
yeah, the pressure. He's like, I'm fine. Yeah.
That's excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my first thought.
So it is then prediction time.
Prediction time.
So do you want to start with the prophecy or do you want to start with like chapters?
We can start with the prophecy. Would you like to reread it?
Sure. Do you want me to read all of it or just like go one line at a time?
We'll go one line at a time. I don't have one for every single line, but
Okay, that's okay. So 5 shall go west to the goddess in chains.
so obviously they chose 5. I did write this down. 5 campers/hunters, but this is who I had picked because I didn't pick Phoebe, obviously. I had picked Percy, Thalia, Zoe, Grover, and Bianca because I was like, those are the 5 main characters. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
could be where we're headed. 1 shall be lost in the land without rain.
Someone's gonna die in the desert, or yeah, or maybe just get lost. But lost implies death to me here, so
The bane of Olympus shows the trail.
I thought maybe Hades. They get some help from my king, the love of my life, my mafia boss, Hades, king of the underworld.
Love that. Campers and hunters combined prevail. That's
Obvious.
kind of obvious. The Titan's curse must one withstand.
I still need to. I want to ruminate more on what this Titan's curse could be. I want to see if I could guess it.
And then 1 shall perish by a parent's hand.
So one of the gods is going to kill their kid. I guessed that Hermes might kill Luke. Yeah. So I know they said like, oh, the big 3, like it was like implying that either it's like Thalia or Percy, one of them when they turn 16 is gonna like threaten the gods or whatever. But I was like, maybe I don't know, because I want to see Hermes try to meddle in Luke's life a little bit and get done and over with this POS. Yeah, that's what I got for the prophecy.
All right, so if you think Luke is going to die, who do you think will die in the desert?
Ooh, you know what would be really tragic if it's like Bianca and like Percy feels responsible and he has to tell Nico. That would be ruthless.
Dang. That would be dark.
That would be very dark. So I think that's too dark, but I'd be like, if I was an author, I think I would do that. I think I would be that ruthless.
But in a children's book, you'd be that ruthless?
Well, I'm not gonna write a children's book. Like, if I wrote this, it'd be a lot more horrific, I think.
I mean, the Greek myths are a little horrific, so it would feel right.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
So, some chapter predictions.
Yeah, these are really bad. I'm gonna apologize in advance.
Okay, that's fine. Chapter 9, I learned how to grow zombies.
So I said they end up in a cemetery and Percy can raise the dead.
Wild. 10, I break a few rocket ships.
I was like, is Percy hanging out at NASA or something? I'm like, where would the rocket ships come from? I was like, why does he need a rocket ship? OMG. I was like, what the hell? Like,
And then 11, Grover gets a Lamborghini.
this is word for word what I wrote. Yo, what? Grover steals someone's car.
Yeah, these chapter titles are like not good for predicting.
They're weird.
They are weird. Yeah. Oh, I do have one more prediction question for you, and if you don't have an answer, that's okay.
Okay.
Because we have a couple characters whose parentage is unknown, and that is Nico and Bianca, and also Zoe. So any ideas who their parents may be?
Oh, Bianca and Nico are like Italian.
Yes.
Which god gives off the most Italian energy? That's what I need to know. I want it to be Mr. D. Like, I don't think it is, but like he feels like an Italian to me just because of the wine thing. I don't think it is.
That would be fantastic. But, okay, could you imagine, like, you get to camp and your father is Mr. D and he doesn't say anything because he hasn't said anything at this point? Like,
But like, would he? He seems like a deadbeat dad, just like the rest of them.
that is true.
Like, somehow worse. Somehow even more of a deadbeat dad.
God, if you just, like, left your kid in the Hermes cabin and didn't say anything, God, whack.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess is technically what Nico's parent is doing, because, well, unless his parent is Hermes. But Nico's still in the Hermes cabin. Great. I mean, keep an eye out.
Oh, wait, Zoe is also a half-blood?
She could be.
She could be. Interesting. Well, I gotta do some research only because I don't know all of the gods. I just don't know all of them.
Okay. You gotta think about it. Think on it.
But not too much. I just need like enough like that I could know their names, essentially. I won't go too deep.
Well, you have Zeus, Poseidon, Hades.
Yeah.
Then you also have Apollo, Hermes.
Like there's like other minor ones. Yeah, like I don't know anything about yeah.
Is there a god of Italy? I think is the question we need to ask.
That's what I need to know. I'm like, who's the god of Italy?
Or who is the god of Italian? Well, the Romans are Italian, I guess.
Yeah. Who do the Italians pray to?
So then they just have like off-brand Greek gods because they have like Jupiter, Neptune.
I guess. Well, who came first, the Romans or the Greeks?
The Greeks.
Is that true?
Yeah. And then the Romans like adopted their gods.
Interesting. Maybe we'll return to this topic. I gotta ruminate on it a little bit.
Great. You can ruminate.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else before we go?
I think that's it. This was nice.
This was nice. This was fun.
Just us. Back to our roots.
It was lovely to get back to our roots as a two-person podcast.
I had fun, yeah.
We'll talk to you next week for chapters 9, 10, and 11.
Bye.
See you next time. Hi, thanks for listening. If you want more from us, you can follow us on Instagram or TikTok at DemigodDebutPod. See you next time for some more discussion about the Titan's Curse. Bye!